Welcome back, my people. It's Chiddy's Hyperrealism again. It's episode 7, Porter's episode 7. So, if this is your first time, remember to like, share, and subscribe as you watch. Yeah. So, we start with the hair. Alright, we start to basically draw the outlines of the hair. Alright, I can even show you the reference image so you can follow up with what we're doing, you know. Well, guys, folks, my people, as you can see, it's quite, and this is Wednesday Addams, and it has like a ponytail sort of thing. It's obvious from the reference image, alright, and that's what we're trying to replicate here. Alright, we're trying to replicate that. Alright, you lot can see, and we're actually making progress on the first step, that the hairs and all of that. Yeah, we're just making sure that everything is actually really professional and a real good combination. Yeah, so guys, we're using our charcoal pencil just to get those hair strands inside, making sure that everything's nice and that's making sure everything's precise as possible. You can see the way I'm literally shading it inside, rubbing out the good lines as I proceed, making sure this is the most professional look of Wednesday. It's not gonna be easy, it's gonna be tough, but we all get there, and yeah, because it's shining, and the results eventually the results will speak for themselves. Now I'm using a degraded pencil to kind of like go over the hairs, all of that. If you know what I'm talking about, yeah, that's what I'm kind of doing here, giving it that stylizing it, doing things in a perfect, manner. Alright, we're just using that charcoal pencil or whatever that is to make sure it's darkened, and yeah. So we're rubbing out like the bits that aren't necessary in the hair. Alright, so yeah, and I'd like you to make a comment on what you think about this at the end. Yeah, kindly drop a comment bar. Thank you. Anyways, guys, moving on. So we're basically, drawing the hair, and we're basically like making sure it's perfect, professional, whatever you don't want to call it, And then we start to carve the face a bit, little by little. We start to carve the face. You can see we're carving the face right here. All right, we're carving, or should I say the ponytails, which we're carving, which is actually beside the face. If you looked at that picture quite well, and so yeah, we're actually making reasonable progress here. We're doing the suit now, or should I say the jacket or whatever. The full picture you saw back then. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So just bear with me, and I'll take you through this journey. Alright, folks. Yeah, we're actually getting those alright. Yeah, fellas, okay, we're getting, the ponytails or whatever, alright, yeah, alright, gang, yeah, we're basically just drawing those dreads, all of that. Basically, that's basically what we're doing, and we're carving the face as well, yeah. Alright, so we're carving the face, and one thing I appreciate about it is that everything is orderly. Everything feels orderly. It feels organized. It feels has a specific structure it follows. Alright, YouTube. So we're actually kind of like using our pencil now to just draw a dark line, the ponytails. Alright, trying to get that ponytail kind of output, rubbing out the grid lines as usual, as you know. Yeah, so we're basically just adjusting the ponytails, making sure it's very, very professional, and then so on and so forth. you know, yeah, and we're using our charcoal pencil to just, kind of just, shade it in to make sure it's got that shading inside as well. We're making sure that every single thing is very, very professional, fully packed, yeah, fully packed kind of thing. Making sure that everything is very professional. We're shading it inside and, making sure that everything is very, very professional. Once again, ladies and gentlemen. So we're basically just, starting to that, just and adjusting the air and making sure it's smooth, professional, all of that. That's what we're trying to make sure that we do very professionally. Yeah, now we're doing the eyebrows. You can see the reference image on my phone there. So we're starting to do the eyebrows. We're going to do the eyebrows as well. Like I also doing the eyes. Making sure that everything is as professional as it can be. Making sure everything is professional as possible. Yeah. So that's basically what we're doing. Doing the eyebrows. Getting everything to its respected shape or respectful shape, or however you'd like to call it. We're doing the eyes as well, making sure that it has, give attention to all of these important details, all of these little details that are very, very highly important. And yeah, that's what we're doing. Alright guys, we're basically, carving the nose now, getting those details in. I mean, as you can actually see, we're doing the nose here. Making sure that everything goes professionally and smoothly. Just making sure it's very, very delicate and professional. It's precise, prestige and precise. Making sure it's prestige and precise. So yeah, basically just make sure everything's prestigious, but I'll let you guys flow with it. Yeah, so guys, man, we're simply gonna be doing the second night now. But as you can tell, and as you can obviously see, we're doing the second night here. Um, I'll let you guys flow that as well. fellas, folks, YouTube, my people, we are doing the lips now. We're doing the outlines of the lips, Alright. Now, I'll have to show the reference image again. As you can see, the lips are quite, longish, fuller and quite dark. I don't know how to explain to them, but you can see how the lips look there. And that's exactly what we're trying to impute here. So, yeah, I mean, you guys can see I'm already doing the lips, man. Already, making progress of, making sure that it's very, very professional, but, no, it's not going to be perfect, but, yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but I'll try my best. I'll give it my all. Anyways, so aside from that, yeah, we're doing the lips, making sure that everything is professional, as precise as possible. And yeah, making sure that everything's precise. We're doing those lines. So yeah, I'll leave you guys to it. Alright, YouTube. So basically just, blending in there with use the charcoal pencil with mid strains. We're just blending back to make a shading, to give it that dark tone. And that's what we're trying to aim at here. And as you can clearly see, alright, the results actually speak for themselves. Alright, we're kind of still black, and I can see how darker. It's way darker than it was before. The hair is way darker than it was before, which is a big improvement. And it closes all the gaps. So yeah, that's basically it. Then we're just going ahead, using the graded or charcoal, the graded pencil, just put more strains on there, and to make sure it's perfect, and yeah, enjoy it. Well, as you guys can actually literally see here, it looks more realistic than ever, and then we're shading the face and the nose with the charcoal pencil, you know. We're trying to just make sure everything's professional. You know, shading the darker sides, and yeah, also just shading the darker sides in general, and you know, making sure that everything looks perfect, everything fits quite well. You can see how important it is to have light and dark bits, because if you don't have it, then you're doing isn't gonna really look 3D. It's gonna look 2D. That's in my actual opinion, though. So you can challenge me if you'd like to, or what your opinions are. You know, we're just making sure that everything's professional. You know, everything's going good, and that's what I'm making sure. You know, focusing on the eyes. This is gonna make sure very look, that's a good look, and you're just making sure that's a professional look. You know, making sure that it's highlighted quite well, very well, you know, properly, and so on and so forth. You know, just making sure that it's looking good, you know, making sure that, you know, that it's a well highlighted, well detailed, and so on and so forth. So that's what we're actually doing at the moment, you know, trying to make sure that everything is in good order, and good arrangement, and good structure. So that's basically what we're trying to, you know, get through this sketch out here. Well, it's all just come real good already, immediately. Alright, guys, yeah, we're just basically shading the nose and doing our stuff, basically. So I'll catch you later. I mean, what do you think? As you look can see, alright, we're focusing on the eye specifically now. Alright, we're focusing on the detailing and all of that. You know, making sure things are hit in a professional manner. So, yeah, we're doing Wednesday, Portrait episode 7. And yeah, yep, that's right. So, we're literally just shading it. What else can I do? What I can do is shade just to make sure everything's right, rubbing out the inappropriate bits, shading. We're basically just repeating every step I've said so far. Yeah, folks, man. You know, like I said before, rubbing out the necessary bits. You know, rubbing bits out for the light spots. You know, making sure everything is very professional, even just giving a realistic look. You know, that's what we're trying. That's the aim. That's the actual aim of this video. You know, to get looking realistic and all of that, hyper realistic and all of that. You know, I also have a Facebook page. Please follow me. The link is gonna be on the description below so be sure to check it out. Okay, so yeah, guys. Well, shading in the lips. Alright, you know, so in the lips, making sure it's very, very realistic, you know, making it professional, making it very professional, procedure and precise at the same time. Right, it's your boy C here. So yeah, man, basically just rubbing the dark the dark sides that aren't really needed. I'm trying to just make it perfect, blend it very well, and so on and so forth. That's what we're doing with these stuff. You know, I believe that art is about trial and error. That's what I believe art is about. Right? I'm not saying you should be, but me personally, I believe that. Right, guys, man, we're literally just basically just shading it, you know, making sure everything's precise, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, we're just shading that in, you know, making sure, you know, with the graded pencil, making sure everything's as realistic as it possibly could be, realistic as possible. Yeah, and it's truly speaking, the results are speaking for themselves, you know. Yeah. Yeah, we're just doing the ears and yeah, we're just doing stuff, you know. We're literally just doing stuff, flexing, doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Alright, gangs. Alright, YouTube, my people, my very good people. Yo, alright, so we're literally just shading, rubbing out those dark spots like I told you. You know, wanna make it balanced, so we're just rubbing out some stuff, carving some stuff away. You know, doing our best to make sure that everything's very prestige and precise. You know, alright. So that's what I've got for you. So I'll catch you up in the next one. guys, man. This is the wonderful thing we're carving and also shading. We're making sure that it's very precise. We're just finding the dark spots with our pencil. Trying to get everything precise, and then we're doing the shit. Making it really, 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 really cute and really, really good. Just shaping it up. You know. Yeah, so guys, now we're starting to shade in like sort of like a jacket or something, but a pencil, layering it very nicely with texture, and that seasoning and all that. You know what I'm saying? Alright, as you all can see, you guys can see I'm doing dots on that the suit and stuff. Yeah, so you lot can obviously see that. Well, as you lot can see right here, we're starting to shade it in, put dots, make it in a pattern, that's memorable and recognizable. Alright, as you can see, we're actually shading in the actual like jacket or suit or whatever you guys call it. Alright, so we're using our charcoal pencil to also get the tie in there and like everything in there, you know what I'm saying? So as you can see, man, the results are actually sort of speaking for themselves. Just using that charcoal pencil to go hard on that. And then you can see also kind of doing the ear, or doing cool stuff. Yeah, and as you all can see right here, we're basically just shading it. Alright, I'm gonna leave you to it because you already like you don't know, the drill, don't you? So I'll leave you to it. Bye. as you guys can actually see, we're doing the second build, this suit or jacket. Making sure that everything is professional and precise, as you're seeing it right here, done in a precise, prestige manner. You guys, alright? So that's what we're trying to do. And yeah, I'll catch you next one. Alright, you guys, I just had to shade it in, I'm shading the background now, so we're pretty much done. That's 70% done, like we're putting in the background and everything, everything's just happening. Yeah, alright, so we're still in the process of, shading this background and all of that, but hey, not to worry because I've got your back. Look, we're shading it in. And yeah, just trying to shade it in, trying our best to be as professional and precise as we possibly can. It wasn't supposed to be easy, so it's quite tough. This is how hard you need to press your charcoal pencil to get those dark results. It's not neat, but it's not that good, but at the same time, it's not that bad either. Alright, and we're just shading it in, make sure everything is very, very professional. And yeah, that's what we're basically trying to aim for. Yo, you guys, man, you can see what the hell I'm doing. Right, we're just shading bits in, making sure that everything is precise, and stuff. So I'm gonna leave you to it. As you all can see, we're blending in the skin and water rubbing out the light. It's blending in with skin, with then to be lightened. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, basically, the light spots have a nice blend. That's what we're aiming to achieving. Yeah. Right now we're just blending it. We're rubbing the necessary bits out and then blending them together. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing here. That's what we're about. You know, we're about doing that, and we do it very precisely, making sure that everything is very professional. Making sure that everything is prestige and precise. Once again, folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is Portraits episode 7. In case you're not sure what this episode is, it's episode 7. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright, so as you can actually see, we're kind of like using our degrader pencil, just highlighting and sharpen some of these areas, like the hair, the eyebrows, and so on and so forth. Trying our best to make sure it looks quite sharpened. As you can see right here. As you can see, using my degree pencil to just adjust the dark and light tones, adjusting the lips as well, making it possible, for professional, precise, prestige sort of like drawing, and that. Just making sure everything is as professional as possible. As you can see here, my people, we are actually using the chalk pencil. Just detail there, as you can see very, very clearly there. folks, we're basically at the end of our video now. You know, we're just beginning about it's not really good. Pretty much, we just have a few more. Alright, people. Yeah, you can see we're using the pen to literally highlight the important parts, the lips and everything. We're using our pen to just highlight it to make it. We're just highlighting like all the important details, like the hairs, the noses, the nostrils, the eye stuff, and so on and so forth. As you can see here, it's very obvious that this is prestige, and we're also using it for the tone as well. To create a fairer tone, if you know what I'm talking about, to create a fairer tone, as you all can see right here. So that's what the aim is, to just create a fairer, sort of better tone. And yeah, that's basically what we're doing there. So, making sure it's very precise, very prestige and precise. We're using our pen, just make sure those things are highlighted, No, we're gonna make sure it's professional. Making sure it's professional is one step. We're going over important places such as the chin, just highlighting it, using shade, giving that modern tone that it actually deserves. Just making sure the pen is utilized properly. This could be used for a lot of things. Making sure that it has that tone, that modern texture, that people look for in realistic portraits, and so on and so forth. Yeah, my people, as you all can see right here, alright, we're just shading everywhere, making sure everything is, is professional, with the pen. Yeah, people, like, as you can see here, we're clearly like using the pen to just like create tone and all of that, get the tone, yeah, guys, we're just trying to get tone and all of that. Just trying to get tone around it, making sure that everywhere has this own like specific tone I'm talking about. Yeah, so that's what we're actually trying to do. That's what we're trying to achieve. It's what we're trying to achieve, and it's what we're trying to do. Doing our best to make sure we achieve that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, doing our best to make sure we achieve that once again. Alright, folks, guys, yeah, we're just trying to, get this a professional look. Yeah, professional look. You can see we're using the pen to just go on the shading. Making sure that use the pen, utilize it very well, and obviously, just shading the face. Basically just shading in everywhere that needs shading. Need some of that shading and everything. Doing what's necessary here, but because yeah, alright. Using the pen to just highlight some specific things, alright. Highlighting some very specific things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's gonna be the end of me talking. You can watch till the end of the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Follow me on Facebook if you want to see more of my sketches. I have a channel there. Follow me right now, link is in bio.
Subscribe, like, and share for more AI magic. Experience hyperrealism beyond imagination.